Hey everybody, how you doing? It's John Brewer here, late guide inventory expert. As you guys know, I'm doing interviews now with some of the people I know and love around town. Anyway, I'm lucky enough to have Miss Logan Rex here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, thanks for coming down. Artikal Sound System, if you don't know them, they're a great local band, reggae influences. Just a lot of fun watching these guys come along as a band. We saw them recently down at Robot Brewing and they knocked it out. Just a really, really good time. Always a good time when you go see these guys. And thanks for coming down. Thanks for hanging out. We're actually in Chris's studio right now in Boynton Beach, which is a very cool little setup here.
Yeah, very cool.
So you guys have a tour coming up, I think.
Yes, we have a tour coming up. We're leaving at the end of this month. We're leaving September 29th, and we're going to be gone all through October. We're starting kind of in the Midwest. We're hitting Colorado, kind of bouncing around to the Midwest, going up into the Northeast a little bit, bouncing back down to the Southeast, and then making our way home.
Colorado.
How
are you guys getting up there? Are you flying or are you driving the whole way?
We're driving. We just bought a van collectively as a band, which is it's as much of a pain as it sounds like. But it's been awesome because now we kind of share this asset and we feel really proud of ourselves for making it happen. And yeah, it's great. It's just a 12-passenger van, and we all take turns driving. We have a trailer that hauls all our gear. And we sleep in it when we need to sleep in it.
Wow!
And but it's really fun, and it's got great air conditioning.
So have you guys already traveled in the van already, or is this going to be the first? This is going to be the maiden voyage of the Artikal Sound System Enterprise.
We got to do a 2-week run with this band called the Hip Abduction, and those guys were super cool, and they took us to the Southeast. So that was kind of getting our first legs, and we took the van. And
so how's that work out? 4 guys, 1 girl. You guys are all in the van.
We're all in the van. It goes pretty well. I would say that maybe I'm the most poorly behaved of all of them. And it's really nice. These guys, everyone in the band is very sweet.
Yeah.
And the boys are just super protective of me.
Love
and
it.
Just very wholesome people. So I feel like I'm really traveling with a good crew when I'm with them. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So on that note, how did the band get together? How did you guys meet?
Well, Fabian was my neighbor. And Fabian is our bass player.
Awesome bass player.
The fellow with the dreads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was my neighbor, and I knew him through some mutual friends. And I was in a band at the time, just kind of doing covers around town, and we would do some reggae. And the guys had a whole slew of different Caribbean singers throughout the years. They were a band for 8 years before I joined. And yeah, they needed a singer to fill in on some of these shows that they had booked, and then they were going to kind of figure out the next thing. I don't think they ever really envisioned themselves having a female singer in the reggae band. But we got together, we recorded a song, we recorded this track Crave You, which is a cover of a Flight Facilities tune.
Right.
And that's
Love
on
that
our
song.
Spotify.
Great song.
And that was our first time ever making music together. So we recorded that, and we got along pretty well. They're you want to come on these shows that we have? And I came for those shows. We all got along great, and then we're all right, let's just kind of keep doing it.
So it's just kind of an organic progression. And was Chris in the band too then, or?
Yeah, Chris was in the band. Chris and Fabian. So Chris, our guitar player.
Right.
This is whose studio we're in. He and Fabian sort of founded the band.
Okay.
And then brought Chris Cope, our keyboard player, along, and then a couple years later added Adam. So I'm the newest addition. I've been in the band now for 2 years.
For 2 years. I think that's when I first saw you guys was at Old School Square.
Yeah, probably for Beer Fest.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's when it was. And noticing how you guys have progressed as a band, I've kind of noticed you're kind of being more to the front, and I've kind of noticed your style is coming out more. You're having more fun on stage. And like I said, when I saw you guys at Robot last time, it just really seemed like you're just the whole performance level had hit a new level.
Thank you.
Has that been a natural conscious thing that you guys have done, or has it just kind of happened naturally?
It's just kind of coming. I got to tell you, one of the most liberating things is just being able to for dressing at least is knowing that oh, I'm in a band. Yeah. So you feel you can kind of get away with wearing some more outrageous outfits. I like to wear a lot of glitter and wigs and fringe and all the costumes. So that's been huge. And then honestly, the boys have just had so much more experience being in the music scene. I was so much newer to it. I think at first I was a little bit timid, and they've really supported me. And just also having a really tight band, you feel you can really do no wrong. I know they're I can just royally screw up. and they're just right behind me, like kind of catching me when I fall, which is really nice, and just makes it so much easier as like a front woman to just step out and know like they've got this covered. I just get to go out here and like kind of create a scene, and we all do our thing together.
Yeah, it's such a nurturing environment where it's always good when you, as an artist, if you make a mistake, and these guys are so talented, they're going to cover up. They'll find a way. They'll improv their way out of it. They'll figure a way to move into something else or whatever it may be. If they got to pick the verse up or pick the chorus up,
absolutely,
whatever it may be.
They might be like rolling their eyes at me, but they're right there, and they're right
They'll
there.
shoot you the look.
Yeah, I get it a lot from Adam, our drummer. I'll be like, sorry, but but no, at this point,
there she goes again.
But no, I think our show is definitely getting tighter and tighter, especially now that we're doing all of our original music. It's so much easier to really feel stuff that you've written, and everyone really takes ownership over the music, and now it doesn't really feel like we can screw up because we're just making it our own every time.
And that's so important for a band. There are so many bands, I think, and musicians. I go to mic nights. There's so many people that can do covers.
Yeah.
The trick is to write your own material. And I know when I saw you guys doing your own material, I'm like, that's their song.
Yeah.
And that's fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So that's I think that's the key, So great job on that, and keep going with that. And yeah, it's got to be a great feeling doing your own music up there. You've arranged it yourself and put it all together, and it's there's no wrong way to sing it. You wrote it.
Yeah, and it's just really neat because we all have such an equal share of like what's going on as far as making the songs.
Yeah.
So I think that we all just take like the same ownership over it. There's no like hired guns in this band. We all have like written our parts, and
so does everybody come in with a song? There's no like one.
Chris and I at least for the EP that we actually just put out on vinyl.
Very nice.
Hello, yes.
Well, that's great. Very old school looking.
Yeah, our friend Will Troll, shout out to Will Troll, did the art for this, and he's a local musician as well.
That's great.
And great artist.
Who's the dog?
That's Uzi. That's the love of my life. That's my dog. Yeah. But yeah, so awesome. Chris and I, for all these songs, we wrote the songs together. He would meet up with me, bring an acoustic guitar, kind of like get a chord progression down. We'd kind of pick a topic that was broad enough there'd be a lot to say about it, and
just kind of let it
bang it out, and then we'd bring it we'd send the voice memo to the boys just like on our iPhone and say, here's what we've got, and kind of cook something up for what you envision your instrument playing during this, and then we come together and play the song and just kind of like paint by numbers after that. Yeah. So
that being said, what do you think some of your influences are as far as band sound? Anybody that you kind of drawn to, or I don't want to go to the No Doubt thing.
But I do.
Okay, you do.
Yeah,
You're okay with it.
No. So I love No Doubt. Right. I was like, it's so funny because like growing up, I really wanted to be Gwen Stefani. She was such a badass. Yeah. And I like loved her style. She had like a little bit of a tomboy thing going on, and the wild hair, the bleached hair, and gets to like be like this badass front woman with this like awesome all male band. I just thought she was so cool. And then we like ended up doing a cover of a No Doubt song, Underneath It All. Mm-hmm. And I realized then like people started making the comparison, and I was like, man, I feel like subconsciously I have been like still trying to be her. Like I just love her so much. Yeah. So she was a huge influence. And then we all kind of have different tastes in reggae. Reggae is such a huge genre, and there's so many different little sub-genres. So I know I'm a huge fan of like roots reggae. Mm-hmm. Chris, our guitarist, listens to a lot of like the more modern like American reggae. Fabian listens to a lot of Latin reggae since he's from South America. Right. So I think we all kind of like blend our tastes and kind of make it. I know our keyboard player, Chris, like our Cope, everyone calls him, that's his last name. Okay. He adds like a really nice modern sound to everything, kind of like brings it all together with his keyboard playing. Okay. And then Adam, our drummer, is just such a heavy hitter. We all laugh about how heavy his foot is. Like everywhere we go, everyone's like, "Oh shit, you have the loudest drummer we've ever heard." But it adds like a really powerful.
Yeah, that bottom end on the reggae is really important. Really important. But the one commonality is obviously you guys are a reggae-based band. Yeah. That's where you guys come from. Mm-hmm. Really cool. So the tour that's coming up, how did that come about? What's the goal on the tour, and is it to support the new album, or?
So the goal on the tour is really just, this is going to be our second time leaving the state, as this incarnation of the band.
Okay.
So the boys, before I was in the
How
band,
do you get received outside? I mean, because reggae in Florida, there's so many. I mean, you got. I mean, how many? You Spread the Dub, all these different reggae type bands that are here. But once you get out of Florida, do you find that you guys are received the same way? That's the one thing I think would be cool about a band is how you get received in each city and each different place that you go.
You know, it's different everywhere you go, but I think that overall, like, even if you don't really like reggae, I find, like, one of the coolest things for me is that I really can connect with other women. I think women really like, even if they're not fans of reggae, maybe their boyfriend, like, dragged them out to whatever show it is we're playing. When they see a woman on stage, they're like, oh, this is cool. You know, I don't see a lot of women in reggae. So there's a couple people that are doing it and really killing it. There's this girl, Hyrie, and she's amazing. She's got an awesome band, spectacular singer. And there's another girl, Leilani Wolfgram. And then, of course, you know, there's lots of other women in the scene. But since there are
and you find everybody supportive of each other? Or?
Yeah, it seems to be like a very welcoming sort of vibe, which is really nice. I mean, reggae is kind of built on this idea of, like, love and unity, and I do find that holds true, like, with the fans and with, like, the artists themselves. Like, it really, it's not just like a gimmick. It really is a really welcoming environment. So I think that outside the States, so far, we've been welcomed pretty well. Like, not everyone has known us, but I think that we do a good job of, like, converting fans. And so that's, like, the best thing for a band that's, like, small like us, is to go out on the road and just get in front of new faces. So that's kind of the mission of this tour, is to just meet new people, hopefully convert some new fans, and just start putting our foot in as many doors as possible.
And where do you guys have your music right now? Is it Spotify? So if someone wanted to find you guys and look up, and we're going to show some stuff about the tour over the top of this while we were talking, but where they can find your music.
Yeah, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, Apple Music, really anywhere you can digest music, Pandora. And
you have a couple of videos on YouTube?
A couple of videos on YouTube.
Okay.
So you can find it anywhere, even if you're looking, I think, are we still streaming the EP for free? No? I'm sorry. All right, well, you can find it go for free on YouTube. It's free on YouTube. You might have to watch an ad, but it's free. Yeah.
And that's Artikal Sound System with a K. How did you come up with the name?
Oh, the boys had that name. Artikal is Jamaican patois, like Jamaican slang for the real deal. So before I was in the band, they were a more quintessential, like, Caribbean reggae band. So
that's awesome.
And now we've just held on to that.
I appreciate it so much that you gave me a couple minutes to talk, and just wishing you guys the best of luck. Like I said, I saw you guys 2 years ago, and I've watched the band progress, and it's really, really great to see you guys, and wish you all the success.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
All right, thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you soon.